It is July 28th, Sunday, a day after I did recordings on Saturday of Gerald Stephen Guidry and Sakal Holman living in this RV. They are gone. Guidry's car is usually parked here. He takes up the car wash. And Sakal Holman usually parks here. It is a day later. It is now Sunday morning at 6:15 in the morning. And the awning is still down in the RV that's in storage. This is storage. And they're gone. However, they're still plugged in. So again, Grapevine Property Services of Roanoke, California, who have been extremely irresponsible and just take our money and don't care about the bullying and the harassment by Gerald Guidry and others. They need to stop this, and they need to make Gerald Guidry pay all of the electric bills for Osborne Park. So he's still plugged in all night long, starting again yesterday, Saturday. And there's also weeks previous to this that have been recorded and documented and proved. So Gerald Stephen Guidry, felon, needs to pay Osborne Park electric bills. This is dry storage. Grapevine Property Services is completely inept. They do not need to grab our money and allow all of the residents to be bullied and harassed. We're paying for this out of our association dues that they're demanding, despite the fact that Guidry hired them and they never vetted to make sure that he was part of a legally elected board. They were notified that Guidry is not part of a legally elected board, and they didn't care. They stonewalled all the residents who brought this up to them, that Guidry has no right to hire anyone as property services. Again, as you will note, they do not call themselves property management. That way they get rid of the requirement for licensing. They call themselves a property service. So that way they escape licensing requirements. So this is what Guidry is doing. He's taken over dry storage. That's his junk right there. His junk. His junk. His junk. Termites infested wood. His junk. His soda cans. And his junk spawn out here, just like him. Junk everywhere. So this is dry storage. This is not his property. This is Osborne Park's property, and he is stealing Osborne Park electricity for another 2 days in a row now. Previous to all the other documentation and all the other weeks of stolen electricity and blown park fuses that God knows who paid for the repair of that park fuse right there. That is documented on Facebook and YouTube of the repairman up there. Guidry is the same person that does fake wellness checks on people, including me, that has been proven with the Sheriff Department of Vista. He dragged this crazy 85-year-old lady into a fake wellness check to get her to lie, to say that I hadn't been seen in 11 days and that I was deceased. So he dragged this crazy lady into it, 85 years old, to go along with the story that I hadn't been seen in 11 days. After I found out she was involved, I asked her, I said, come on, Sharon, you know you see me. Oh, yeah, that's right, I guess. She's a known woman hater. She told me she's a Jehovah's Witness and they hate women and we are supposed to follow the man, which I guess is Guidry the felon. So she went along with the fake wellness check. She admitted that it was because Guidry provoked it, so she had to go along with it. So Guidry is also the person that is using park money, Osborne Park funds, to pull innocent people into fraudulent lawsuits for his personal vendettas. So he's also that person. So he's filing lawsuits, 14 of them. 14 to 15. I think there's a 15 going on right now. So he's using Osborne Park funds via Grapevine Property Services, who's paying for the attorneys, in particular Craig Combs of San Diego law firm. So Grapevine is funneling Osborne Park funds into fake fraudulent lawsuits to fight for the board when there were no elections to begin with. And then Guidry turned it into his personal vendetta lawsuit, pulled me into it. I had nothing to do with elections, didn't care to have anything to do with these crazy people and their elections, so I stayed out of it. They actually unlawfully took my voting rights away from me. I shrugged and said, whatever, I don't want to be involved in this anyway. Didn't talk to these people for almost 2 years, hid from them, and they pulled me into a lawsuit dealing with two fighting parties over the board, which I had nothing to do with. So these people are insane. I got myself dismissed through the North County Division, Vista, San Diego Superior Court, out of his fraudulent lawsuit, proved personal vendetta, that he pulled me in. I had nothing to do with voting or boards or two fighting fractions, had nothing to do with any of it. So I proved it, got dismissed. I am charging Grapevine Property Services for what they did to me, including Osborne Park. I'm charging them and Craig Combs law firm and Craig Combs. So Grapevine Property Services, you need to charge Gerald Stephen Guidry with the Osborne Park monthly electric and other utility bills.